Let's start because we have a packed hour and I want to spend some time talking about your optimism, pessimism, taking some questions, going through a short activity altogether, as we are not a big group today. So we take this chance and try to get more participation and more discussions than anything else. So as usual, welcome for those who are back, and thank you very much for trusting us and for joining our series. So a big thank you for your time. Tough times, really understand that, and we're trying to make the best out of it. Today's menu, so we have 3 things to do together. Just to understand a little bit about pessimism. So for those who joined the previous sessions, you already know where it comes from, but just to make it clear on this session. The second one will take some time to discuss about your results, because I will give you the results finally, the ones that you're waiting. And the third part will be a little bit of techniques. If, for example, you find out that in some areas you are quite pessimistic and you would like to go from a more optimistic point of view, we will see some techniques that will help you with no doubt. A little bit about myself, for those who are the first time joining us, you can call me Nico. I'm here at KPI, providing some trainings, especially in emotional intelligence, mental toughness, optimism, sellers, and the other ones. So KPI, we're a soft skills company here in Jakarta. We've been working for more than 10 years, helping professionals, helping companies to develop their skills in many different areas. Of course, now pandemic, most of you already adapt to this. So all our trainings that we used to do offline, we're doing them online right now. The same quote. I always like to start all these sessions by the same quote. Maybe you've read it before. I give you some seconds to read it yourself. For me, this quote is also a reminder for me than saying that, look, you know, we don't have control to everything around us, but we do have control on ourselves. We can make the best out of it. We can manage ourselves, what we think, how we feel, and that's what really counts on this one. For the time being, consider that we have in every and single each of us 2 emotional beings, or 2 beings in ourselves, and we have these 2 beings every single time. This is how your chimp or your emotional beings see the world in a pessimistic view. Everything that happens to you, bad or good sometimes, for the chimp, the bad things are permanent. Is whatever happens, it's always like that. It will never change. It's a permanent thing. Maybe you will recall some of the questions in your tests and we will explain that. The second thing is pervasive or viral. If something bad happened in your life, something really specific, you will start thinking, and your chimp will tell you it's the end of your life. Let's take a small example. Public speaking, you deliver a presentation, it's not as expected. Your chimp will say that it's the end of your career. This is the way it is. You are no good in public speaking. This is the end of your career. And another thing that the chimp likes to tell you is there is nothing you can do about it. That's it. You are bad. You've born like that. There is nothing you can change in your life. So every bad thing that happens to you, this is what your chimp is telling you. But you have the other side of yourself, the human, more optimistic. For the human, when something bad happens, it's only temporary. It's okay. I did a bad presentation. Tough luck, my friend. And it was only a presentation. And maybe the other ones were better. So that's okay. I will learn from it. The other thing is isolated. It was just a bad presentation. You just messed your presentation. But that doesn't mean your work is bad or your future is endangered. And another thing that the human likes to think about is saying that we can change that in the future. We can improve ourselves. And what happened today might not happen tomorrow. Okay? Your tests now. So I will ask you to take the last part of your test where you have the scores. PSB, PSG, BG, and everything. So because we will go, and the important thing is the score on there. Uli.
How if the result between the pessimistic and optimistic is the same?
So you have 0.
A 0? Okay.
So you are very pessimistic. Yes. It's not balanced, it's just pessimistic, but that's okay.
Okay.
And this is what I would like you to do. And I will break you down in smaller rooms because I would like you to discuss about that. I would like you to discuss about your scores. Does it make any sense? Do you have any explanation? Or does it make complete sense now that you've seen it? So what I will do is I will give you about 5 to 10 minutes. I will break down all of you in 2 different groups. So it's smaller so you can have more time to discuss. And I will jump from one group to another. The only thing you have to do on this one is to discuss your results. Were you surprised? Were you actually, the results are quite similar with your own life, or they're completely different? This is not who you are. I just would like you to discuss internally with everybody else.
Okay.
What do you think about your results? Are you surprised about them?
Of course, I'm surprised. Of course, I'm surprised because I thought that I am quite optimistic, in this life. But the result is very different.
It's not because you are pessimistic, because when you do G minus B is 0, it's because maybe your optimism is not that high. Because if you have only 3, 4, 5, maybe your optimism will only be 3, 4, and 5 as well. I am correct.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so it's not that you are pessimistic, it's that you could become more optimistic in some ways. So
in general you are not that surprised. You mean tapi umumnya kamu kaget kan?
Umumnya kaget karena yang nggak gitu kaget yang bagian yang personal itu yang S ya, yang self esteem.
Yang self esteem itu ya.
Ya, self esteem memang my self esteem is very low. Jadi nggak kaget lagi.
Gimana Friska?
Ya, kalau aku sih karena pas tadi dilihat per poinnya itu kayaknya cukup banyak yang optimistik, tapi setelah di jumlah nggak taunya hasilnya -1.
So berarti yang pesimis lebih berat daripada optimis.
Iya, padahal pas per poin cuma di PMB aja yang pesimis, sisanya average and optimist.
Oke. Yang bagusnya dengan tesnya ini sebenarnya karena lewat teorinya semuanya orang adalah bagian optimis sama pesimis, dan hari ini kita bisa optimis lebih tinggi, besok karena sesuatu yang terjadi turun ke pesimis. Itu seperti balance. Tapi yang penting dengan tes yang ini kita lihat di mana sih yang saya pesimistik. Bisa jadi karena saya selalu anggap ini you never talk to me, you always are like that, kayak sesuatu yang permanen. Bisa jadi juga banyak orang yang personalize, itu pokoknya kalau salah itu gara-gara saya selalu kayak gini karena saya nggak mampu atau sesuatu. Atau mungkin seperti kalau ada dikit-dikit terjadi, kayak semuanya dunia udah hancur. Itu biasanya kayak drama Korea kan, seperti itu.
It's a matter of changing our point of view to see the problems, right?
Absolutely. So the important thing on that is to more or less see where we have our strengths and weaknesses. I give you another example on sometimes you cannot use optimism. So I don't want some people in here thinking that the chimp is all bad. He's negative. He only sees blacks and white. He's an emotional thinker. Why do we have this being inside of us? It's dragging us down. Look, the main purpose of your chimp is survival. That's why he's important. He has a purpose in your life, because the only thing the chimp is interested in is to keep you alive. And that's why sometimes we have to hear your chimp. That's why the pessimism comes here. Pessimism tells you, don't do that because of that A, B, C, D. He's here to keep you alive. I give you an example. If we don't listen to your emotional being, if you don't listen to your pessimistic point of view, imagine that you are creating a new company yourself, a new startup. And during the startup, you see that the sales are not really going well. You've been in business for 1 year. You are not really going anywhere. You are not getting results. Everybody around you is telling you that's a bad idea. But because you want to use optimism, you tell to yourself, you know what? Nico told us, and please don't put me on this one, that it's non-permanent. Sales have not been good for the past year or forever. But it's okay. It's just bad times and it will get better soon. So you are trying to use your optimism, saying that bad things are not permanent. And okay, I can say that, let's go ahead. And a lot of people are telling you it's not a good idea. But you said, you know what, this is not pervasive. The project is good. My idea is good. Just the sales are not going well. Just the marketing is not good enough. But my idea is genius. And you keep going. Even though no one is investing in your idea, in your company, you are losing a lot of money. But because you want to be optimistic, you keep on that way. And finally, you said that to yourself. Optimism, bad things are happening to me, but it's non-personal. Everybody is telling me that it's not good, but they just don't understand me. And maybe after 2 or 3 years, you have no more money, your family has left you. It was a bad idea since the beginning. Pessimism has a purpose in what we do, and we need pessimism to balance optimism. Because if you only have optimism, you are just an optimistic fool. So for those who were a little bit surprised about your scores, and for those who would like to start moving from the pessimistic side to the optimistic side, this is the activity and how you can make it happen. It's called the ABCDE technique. The chimp and the human are here, no matter what. What happens when you are feeling really pessimistic and negativity and negative thoughts are happening? That means the chimp is overwhelming your thoughts. So you are just hearing your chimp. The voice of your chimp is louder than your human, or your human is just tired and said that I don't want to discuss whatever you want to go. So this is where you see things in a pessimistic way. Another thing, you cannot just ignore your chimp. Ignore your chimp is being an optimistic fool. It's like a little bit like your startup business idea that doesn't go anywhere. You're just telling your chimp, just shut up. Let me take control. I know better. Doesn't work as well. The ABCDE technique means that you have to have a discussion with yourself. Yes, guys. I'm not telling you to talk alone in your room or in wherever you are. It's an internal dialogue. And the dialogue works that way. Let's take a public speaking. You had to deliver an important presentation to your CEO. You've prepared hard for weeks. And when you delivered, you saw your CEO. He was quiet, she was quiet, and seemed bored. This is an adversity. This is something bad. It's a bad event, and there is nothing to discuss about it. This is the way you see it. Let's go to the process. So this is the belief. Ask your chimp, okay, what happened here? And the chimp will say that, I'm a bad presenter. I cannot deliver clear information. I am boring. I think my CEO is realizing I'm not good enough for this job. Do you see the permanence, pervasiveness, and personalization? This is your chimp. I am a boring person, bottom line. Something bad will happen, pervasive. I will lose my job, pervasive. C step is easy. What happened after that? And you ask your chimp, so what happened after this presentation? Look, I felt really depressed. I cried, leaving the meeting room. And the worst thing, I wasn't able to work for at least 2 or 3 days after that. And I am thinking of finding a new job because I know I'm not good. This is the consequences. Ask your human now. Your human is coming to the equation, and now discuss the belief. You have proof, you have evidence. So your human could come and say that, look, first of all, I don't think it was boring. The CEO was looking at you all the time, and he was taking notes. And I can tell you something else, because the chimp sometimes doesn't see everything, because the chimp only sees blacks and white. It doesn't believe in grays, but the human believes in gray. The other participants were really active. They were asking you questions. Only your CEO was quiet. Oh, that means, okay, go on. Alternatives, maybe he was not bored. Maybe he was quiet because he was thinking about what you were saying. You were giving him good information and he was just thinking. And you know what? There is something else. Remember, the CEO asked you directly to deliver this presentation because the CEO trusts you. Oh yeah. And remember, he sent you an email, all BOD in CC, and saying, thank you for this amazing presentation. And now what's happening next? The chimp realized that something, he was not really right in his first belief. And now you are telling to yourself, and this is how you change pessimism that happened with ABC. Most of the people will stop at C and become pessimistic. When you go to the discussing the belief and the E, now this is what you are telling to yourself. You shouldn't judge yourself on one event. And you felt bad. You couldn't work properly for a couple of days. Actually, you put yourself in danger. Your job in danger, not because of your presentation, but because the way you interpret this event. And next time, you know what? If you believe that it was a bad presentation, don't just take assumptions, ask feedbacks. All of a sudden, you just change your pessimistic point of view on something as simple as a presentation that could ruin actually a month of your life because you were thinking about a presentation, into something that becomes useful and something that becomes much more positive in the future. Guys, now it's your turn.
I have one question.
Please, Uli, ask.
I'm still a little bit confusing how to first up the optimism and pessimistic. Well, okay, we must do it optimistic, right? But what if the pessimistic is more, like overthinking? Is that the pessimistic or?
It's nothing. If we take the model that pessimistic thoughts are overwhelming, that means your chimp has a lot to say. If your pessimistic point of view has a lot to say, what I will ask you to do is don't stop it. It's the opposite that you should do. Write down every single thing that your pessimistic side is saying to you. So when you start thinking about these negative things, put it down on paper, because the chimp only wants you to hear what he has to say.
I just want to say thank you. I really love the optimism test, Nick. So cool. Thank you so much. I love it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that.
No, thank you so much, Nick.
Guys, I would like to thank you as well. You have received an email from me, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach me out and saying that, look, there is few things that I don't get it, a few things I would like to have more explanation. Please do not hesitate, contact me anytime. In the meantime, once again, I would like to thank you all for your time. I really appreciate. Keep strong. They are not easy times, but we can take the best out of them. So let's hope we will all get stronger after that.